Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Long and Thick Podcast, where we help you navigate the noise and cut through the bullshit in the health and wellness space. Danson?
My friend.
Danson Dan?
Yes.
How are we?
We are well, my dude. It's been great. We beaned early. Shout out Crema Coffee Roasters. So we are feeling Gucci.
The juice is flowing. We're ready to rumble.
Tell me what we're doing.
We got a bit of a quickie today. We are going to recap a previous episode. We had done a 3-part series where we pretty extensively dove into injuries, in 3 episodes worth of stuff. So if this one scratches your brain, you're like, hey, I'd love to hear more. Go find those. They're great. Or give us, a shout and we can do some further uncovering of this subject matter, but we're going to dive right in. We got 5 different pieces where we're going to add some meat to the bone, starting with injury types.
Yeah. Speaking of meats and bones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll probably there's several types of injuries, but the most common to ones that will affect you or I mean, you are more closely dealing with injury on the other end on the, hey, I might be dealing with an injury. How do we talk about rehab and post surgical therapy? I am trying to avert injury as much as I can, but they happen. It's just the name of the game. So the ones that we are going to cover the most between our collective careers, easy low hanging fruit is going to be your muscle sprains and strains. So a sprain is going to be at the joint level. A more severe one of that would be a dislocation, basically a bone being out of alignment by stressing the connective tissue around it. Strains, which that is the more aggressive version of a muscle strain, would be a tear. Generally, the tissue of the muscle fraying, ripping, most often at the muscle belly to tendon connection or the tendon to bone connection, which is when it gets more aggressive. We're talking about tendinopathy, which is an overuse problem of your connective tissue. That's really common. That can be common in all walks of life, even if you're not even in fitness. If you have a remotely laborious job that has a lot of frequency, tradespeople, bartenders, barbers, tattooers, that's really common. And then you also have things like postural distortions and impingements, which you're going to deal more with. If people suffer with those kinds of things with me, I'm sending them to you. That is outside of my scope, and I should not be correcting that.
Fair.
So those are the injury types that we see most commonly. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think it's the most clear thing when we're just talking about what people are probably going to experience if they're listening to a health and fitness podcast, right? And so what do I do when these things are happening?
Sure.
The tendon stuff usually has the behavior profile of feeling pretty shitty, and then you warm up and then it feels better once I do my 5 minutes or 10 minutes and get into the groove. The strain stuff, not so much. And especially if you're dealing with a tear, there's this feeling of almost like buckling that happens through ranges of motion, which could either be joint level or somewhere in that muscle highway. All of the things to say, give yourself the proper window of like waiting things out a little bit, do the normal stuff, not rice, keep it moving a bit, let yourself recover. And then if things are not clearing up, get your shit checked out. People wait way too long. So I just think it's important to like, don't fucking chat GPT it, like have a human assess it and confirm and do some stuff from there. But yeah, that's I think a great summary and list of, again, the things that people are probably going to navigate.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you can't quite have like an illustrated view of what those things are like. So just imagine, so like tendinopathies is if you are, say, a bartender or a golfer or a tennis player, something that's constantly causing constant like gyroscopic movement through your elbow. Eventually the connective tissue crossing the elbow joint are going to get pissed off. And then you're like, oh my God, I can't even turn my arm. that would be like a tendinopathy.
Right.
Muscle sprain is you rolling your wrist or your ankle. I have a friend of mine. I love him like a brother. He is a brother to me, but he has those quintessential ankles that if you look at him wrong, they just turn sideways.
Fold, yeah.
Yeah. So he has a constantly spraining ankle and just that particular joint is just shitty on him.
Sure.
And Justin, I love you, but probably need to do some prehab work on that, buddy. But then your muscle strains. So that could be basic level tweaks that are going to happen. Just something in the muscle belly. It could be anything under any circumstance. You can do it in your sleep.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to say too, without losing too much time, is like injuries are going to happen.
For sure.
And they're often, the word injury already sounds grievous, right?
Yep.
Like, oh my God, what has happened? It's
like there's something wrong with you.
Right. And if you're athletic or you're pushing performance, it's not the if, it's the when. It's just how you manage these sorts of things.
Agreed.
So when you have a muscle strain, it could be just a small tweak in the muscle belly. It could be a larger strain, which is, say if you have improper deadlift or squat form, somewhere in your QL or your erector, the connection between the connective tissue and the muscle belly, that phrased a little bit. You did not break your back. You're not going to be paralyzed.
Yep.
You have to rehab it a little bit and move on in a week or two, whatever. So yeah, it's super common and it's not the end of the world. And, bone breaks also happen, but not usually under the circumstances that we both, enlist with people, but we have to still work around them as practitioners. So
for sure.
Talking about the physical recovery and the mental recovery for something like that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like what I was alluding to a moment ago when I said, something's wrong with you. I don't mean physically, obviously something's wrong. You feel like it's wrong. What I mean is it's not a defect of your person. Like you're not a fucked up loser because you're having an injury. Like you said, it's a matter of when you will experience it, not if. So don't think that there is some perfect formula that exists to have zero irritation in your body. Like there's no perfect training diagram. So don't let anybody sell you that kind of stuff.
Right.
Anyway, the mental side, I think, is much more profound than the physical side. The tissue will heal whether you do nothing or go after it. How well it will heal, how functional you will be, depending on the severity of the injury, is a totally different dance.
That's a huge point of contention there.
And that is like the mental side expressed through the physicality of your body, because it's your reluctance to load the space that hurt you. The amount of times I take somebody with a disc injury through Jefferson curls and they look at me like,
that's going to kill me.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing here? And we've built up trust and rapport and stuff. So they know, okay, like this person clearly is asking me to do this for a reason.
For those of you who don't know, a Jefferson curl is pretty much the exact opposite of what people think of when they should be lifting with their back, but it is very necessary for spinal flexion and reinforcement.
Yeah.
But again, it laughs in the face of modern convention of like, oh my God, you should never round your back like that.
Yeah.
But
except I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're going to live in the rounded back. So all that to say, the mental side is very important. And I think that's where our jobs have so much fruit and power, is in the meeting of somebody in the middle of their issue and having the chance to intervene and walk them through it and get them past that mental hump. Because the more intense the thing, the longer it goes unmanaged, the more shit starts to show up. You don't have separate parts of your body. Your body is one entire body. So what happens to part of it is happening to all of it. And the influence of that thing will impact everything. And so I don't say that to be scary. I say it to be like, wow, I should appreciate, dealing with my stuff. And it's not just like, hey, give us money.
Right.
It's more like, I'm trying to inform you, don't wait to deal with things, because so the sooner you go after stuff, the sooner you'll clear that mental piece up, because it is for sure the harder piece to get past.
Getting back on the horse, so to speak.
Exactly.
Getting your mind to be able to perform in the same activities and channels that it used to, and also trust your body to show up during those circumstances as well.
Yeah. And especially in the way that you did get hurt. That's where you have to go back. So it's like, try not to go there alone, and you don't have to. That's why we exist. Do you want to flesh out a little bit of why they happen? Like
Sure.
what, are the quintessential formulas to cause the thing?
Yeah. So a lot of it just comes down to being untrained or exceeding the bounds of your current training. So a lot of the population that experiences injuries, even at a surface level of you doing it in your sleep, is because your body is not trained. It's not that we are bulletproof. We go through injuries ourselves in various capacities, but the more you train, the longer you train, the less likely you are to be injured. So if you are completely untrained and you're just working normal office things, but something happens where you reflexively have to go grab something, you tweak your back or a shoulder or your neck or something like that, or you lose balance because you're not used to being able to balance load through the lower half of your body. Generally, it's an unseen life circumstance that then complicates your lack of training and something goes snap or tweak or pop. And then you're like, oh my God, whatever happened?
Yeah.
Now, the other side is exceeding the grasp that you currently have. If you are training, it's really easy to get locked up in ego lifting and cults and homies, and we all do it. It's just like, oh man, I'm like already getting so much stronger. I should just keep going. Well, you're going to find your limits. Your body's going to remind you real quick that you haven't earned that yet.
Well, newsflash.
And it's something that we've talked about in the previous injury trilogy, but your tendons, the things that hold your muscles to your bones and allow your body to have movement, they harden, get stronger, slower than your muscles build strength.
Substantially.
So the tissues of your muscles are growing at a much faster rate than the things connecting them to the bone. And that's also compounded too if you're dabbling with stuff that increases muscle strength robustly. If you're dabbling in some forbidden
fruits,
potions.
Fruits of Eden,
so that will heighten the likely of you having a large scale strain because your muscles are way outpacing your tendons at that point. So those are the two main things: is one, you being undertrained and then hit with some strange, unforeseen life circumstance that you can't predict.
Exactly.
And it happens all the time. Or you being training and being a little too confident or a little too irresponsible with where you should be going, and things happen. It's just part of the gig.
Yeah, that's why I love how strongly you drive in the normalizing of adding like 2.5 pounds or maybe one more rep, or instead of, really trying to seek this massive difference from week to week, that is how you get fucked up. And that's why people say lifting is dangerous. Don't do this thing. I'm scared to train, blah, blah, blah. But then the inverse side of being surprised when you fucking fight somebody in your dream and wake up with your neck sideways and you're like, oh, I'm old. And now you're reinforcing the narrative of all the things we've spoken about previously. Like, I hit 30 and my fucking body died. Like, no, actually.
Yeah, you just stop training it and stop showing up for yourself, and it gets weaker. That's another thing too, is that this is something that we've never really talked about at length, but your body is very binary and it's brutally efficient. You have to fight for all of these adaptations. And if you don't keep maintaining, it's like a Sisyphus level climb. You don't just get to have a new adaptation and you're like, aha, leveled up. And that's just where I stay.
That's my new baseline.
Right. Your body is trying to constantly manage its efficiency and its energy, even down to your fiber level of where it's taking the stuff keeping you alive, your metabolism and your metabolic rate. If you're not using tissue, it's going to take it back.
Right.
It's like, you don't need to use that.
It's costly.
Right. Yeah. It's metabolically inefficient. So you need to be training often and you need to be training responsibly, because if you're not and you just let that stuff go, well, all of your rigidity and your structure and your resilience goes with it. So get moving, get to be strong. So with that being said, talk to me about prevention.
Yeah, I think prevention comes in two forms. One, very honestly, in something happening. I know that's sort of counterintuitive to what we're talking about, but just in the practical application, you're going to be much more apt to even want to start to train or do things, which is the prevention. The more options your body has to move freely, unencumbered by your nervous system blocking you, guarding you, keeping you from a range of motion, a certain position in your space, in your environment, the more robust you will feel, right? And so to get that, again, very redundantly, you have to go there. There's a reason that kids are like Gumby for many reasons, but one of them that is easily carrying over to how we can do things today is like exploring stuff. climbing, crawling. That's why a lot of these like weirder rehab stuff, especially that I get into in the clinic, are like, what the fuck am I doing? Why does this feel so elementary? It's like, well, we have to almost start over in teaching you how to move you. So you don't want to get to that point. And so the prevention is really exploring your body, using it, enjoying the process, adapting adopting a lifestyle that is one of activity and movement and the pursuit of just like flexing that muscle regularly. And then continuing to climb in that progressive overloading scheme in a number of ways. You don't just go after raw strength. You need to go after stuff at length, and that can't be the bulk of your training. You need that good foundation, right? But that's where we really come into the picture in getting you out of the shit. Hello.
Yeah.
And then I say, go and fucking crush your PRs with Daniel.
Fair. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that talking about that is the equivalent of a good defense is a strong offense in this particular point. And I would say we both encourage people to shift the narrative in your head that you should not be running from all of these problems. You should not be sequestering yourself farther and farther away from the work because you're scared of the outcomes or what it might feel like, because that is only weakening both your body and your mind.
Yeah.
And I would encourage people to, like anything, any pursuit, the more it scares you, the more you should be doing it. And again, responsibly, you know, with a measured step and approach. But if something goes wrong, if you're in a circumstance where a random life event causes something, you're like, oh man, I just twisted this one way. Well, you need to start doing more twisty stuff.
Yes.
And you should look at it as an opportunity of like, this is not where my body is weak permanently.
Exactly.
That's where something needs to be shored up.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this as well in the previous injury trilogy, is do not let those things become an identity. You are killing all of your potential by doing that, and you are limiting yourself because out of fear.
Yeah.
And you should look at that as an opportunity to get stronger.
Yeah.
It's like that is a shortcoming. That is for sure correctable and fixable. I never want to repeat that again. Whereas most people on the flip side, they look at that and then they limit everything that even comes close to that. They are now weaker for it physically and mentally, and now have then heightened the likelihood of it happening again.
Agreed. 1,000%.
Hit that shit head on, get stronger, know that some of the stuff is random, but you can still correct it and fight for your shit. You only got one life.
I know. Fucking use it or lose it, as we've said. So, all right, we're injured. What kind of stuff have you done with folks when we're talking about recovering and getting back? You gave an example with, you know, deadlifting and things earlier, and things that we've talked about a little bit more at length with lunging is a very like quintessential movement thing. Again, there's a rotation piece. Anything that's a little bit more dynamic, people tend to get a little more fucked up if they never do it.
Sure.
So what kind of stuff do you do in the light of, okay, we have an injury and now what? Help.
Sure. Yeah. So most of the things that I see in my line of work are just tweaks and strains. So for deadlift, like having that kind of erector QL fraying happen, it feels, and people's imagination gets the best of them, that, oh my God, I just broke something in my back. And because it is along your spine, your body is very quick to like almost immobilize you. It's like you stop right there. We're protecting your spine and your spinal cord. You do not get to move. And you're like, oh my God. So if something like that happens, I mean, one, some of it's just rest to get the inflammation down. But if it's something, most strains, knock on wood, it's not like a full on like tear. I mean, you can get someone fully recovered in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's the generous side. I mean, usually it's within 6 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So day 1, 2, a little bit of ice, a little bit of rest, and then you need to be exposing it back to what you were doing. Not aggressively, not under the same load, but just moving it. You need to show your body, hey, I'm sorry, but like chop, you need to get back to this. Is it uncomfortable? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it probably scary? Also, yes.
Yeah.
But your body is an adaptability engine. And if you're okay with the same amount of discomfort that it took to get the injury, you should be able to be okay with the same amount of discomfort just to prevent or get through the injury's recovery.
Yeah.
So you just start moving in the general direction of how it happened. And then you load it 10%, 20%, 40%.
Yep.
And you might feel a little bit of residual, mostly mental. You're like, but you will be stronger for it. And where people screw up the recovery side is if they stop or at least rehab up to the point where like, oh, I'm no longer pain-free. You're still at like a -1 deficit. So if you rehab someone from an injury and like, okay, you need to keep doing this for the next like 6 to 8 weeks. Like, oh yeah, totally got it, dude. You know, they're not doing that when they leave here unless you're hounding them.
Right.
And they're still technically weaker than when they first had the injury.
And
they're
more
just
likely
and they're just pain-free.
Yeah.
So, but something like a lunge, for instance, that's usually an adductor strain. Same thing is day or 2, you do nothing. Day 3, start seeing how far you can get like a bodyweight squat. Day 4 or 5, start getting yourself into like a bodyweight lunge, test your range of motion of what you're comfortable with. And again, you probably did it at a certain weight. And while it might be uncomfortable, you can still get the range of motion back. Then you start adding the weight. And then again, 2 weeks tops, you're generally right back where you need to be.
Yeah.
If you do the work and you constantly expose yourself and are okay with being a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most misunderstood components of rehab, which I almost am reluctant to even use that word anymore because it really is just still strength training. And people usually get babied way too hard.
Sure.
And that's why I tend to see a lot of folks that I end up working with have failed PT or PT has failed them. And this is not me shitting on physical therapists because it's the structure of the industry that there's the main PT and 50 PTAs. Those are, physical therapy assistants. And then there's 200 patients and it's like 5 clipboards. Hey, Jane and Janine, go in the corner and do your band stretch 3 by 10.
Go do your hand bike over here. Go do your bodyweight squats over there.
No one's involved. No one's watching. No one's pushing. And so if me and her are hanging out and it's like, all right, I'm doing the thing technically. How's that feel? Does that okay? Yeah, it's okay. Well, it shouldn't be. It should be sort of shitty. Like you shouldn't be going to pain, but you have to toe that line of pushing yourself again. Otherwise you're not going to get back to the space that fucked you up in the first place. And then you have to get past it with everything that you just said. But the initial explanation of it's going to be uncomfortable. In fact, ACL stuff, any kind of like post-surgery thing actually fucking hurts. And so if you follow the rule of like, I can't have any discomfort while I'm doing this thing, well then good fucking luck existing post-op or post the thing. Like there's going to be some great, this very well. I know that rehab was not a fun, beautiful, calm experience.
It was not. I had some hitter women going after me. Like, it's like, all right, go. And like, you just want to be done. And you're like, well, too bad. Right. Like, keep going. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to. This is excruciating. She's like, but she's like, do you want to move? And I'm like, sort of. Not really. Right. Yeah. So you have to want it and you have to want to fight for it and find a fire within you because life can be sweeter. You can move easier. You can be stronger. You just have to fight for it. Yeah. It ain't easy, but it's simple.
Yeah. And it is worth it. If anybody has, questions about injury stuff or you want us to dive into this at a little bit deeper length, maybe in particular injuries, maybe 2 or 3 things, people that have had, surgeries, feel free to hit us up, leave some comments in places and say, could you dive into this? And we'd be happy to do that. Anything else you want to add before we send our lovely people off?
No, but just in summary, just if things are going to happen, they're not the end of the world. I mean, you can quickly, it doesn't take recesses of the internet to find that people have had way worse things happen to them than you have. And they are crushing it and doing remarkable things. So if they can do it, anyone can do it. And a tiny little neck tweak here or a knee sprain there, like respectfully get over it and get stronger.
Love it.
Adios.
Goodbye. Bye.